Hi, and welcome to This Week in Baltimore Eating with me, Richard Gorelick. Join us here every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. to talk about everything food-related in Baltimore. You'll see that Amanda is not here this week, although she is in Baltimore. She was away. She was in Portland, Maine. She'll talk about that next week. This week we have a special guest. We have Chef Scott Hines. Welcome, Scott.
Hey, how you doing?
Scott's been here before, but Scott was working somewhere else when he was here before. Now tell us where you're working.
Sure. So now I am at Hotel Revival, right up in Mount Vernon. I oversee all the food outlets in the hotel. So we have 3 that we're doing right now.
Let's name them.
Absolutely. So Topside, which is our rooftop restaurant, dinner service every day of the week, and we do brunch on Sundays. Downstairs we have Square Meal, which is more of like a cafe, breakfast and lunch, 7 days a week again. And then we have B-Side, which is kind of like a lounge with hidden karaoke rooms.
I've heard about the hidden karaoke.
Yes, so it's super cool. They fit 6 to 8 people. You can rent them out by the hour.
Yeah.
Do a lot of functions down there, private parties.
Oh.
It's an awesome space.
I've got to do that.
Oh, please do.
Gotta
Please do.
that, for my team. So 3, but not room service.
We do. We do
You
room
do?
service, which we like to call in-room dining.
I like it.
Yeah, we want to make sure they're getting a restaurant experience. Room service sounds so big box,
It does sound big box.
right?
I
So
agree.
we want to give them a good restaurant experience in their room. So we want them to dine in their room.
How much of this is new to you? I mean, how much of the? I know it's all new, but at your previous job, were you doing in-room dining?
I
too?
was. So same
Okay.
thing in my previous job. Same deal where I oversaw banquets, room service, in-room dining. And then the food outlet or the restaurant. Whereas here, same deal, just a little smaller faction. So I'm able to focus a lot more on what I'm doing. The hotel is only 107 rooms, which is great though because, we can focus more on what we're doing.
I got you.
Granted, I have more outlets, so I have a little more room to play around, if you will.
Let's talk about Topside.
Absolutely.
That would be the major. Well,
That's the main outlet in the hotel, absolutely.
and I've been there. So you've been there how long now?
About 2 months now.
2 months now. So your feet are on the ground. What did you want to do when you got there?
So, my main objective, obviously, the place sells itself. The view.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
You can't beat the view.
People within the sound of my voice, it's pretty extraordinary. If you have people visiting you in Baltimore, and this could be your first stop in Baltimore to show it off. It
Yeah, you
shows off
can
really,
show
really
the whole
well.
city off from that view.
Show the whole city off. East side, west side, south side, north side. You can see right into my bedroom window. Kind of. You can. I'm like really close.
I'll be looking for the wave from you. Don't worry. I'll be up there
wave.
looking, right?
I'll wave to everyone coming to the top side. And you can see how really lush the west side is. The west side is really green.
It
Much
is.
greener than we think it is.
No, absolutely. Most people don't look at it from that perspective or that view. And when you do, you're like, wow, this is, you can literally see almost all the way up to Roland Park. You can see Brewers Hill. You can see the Natty Boh guy from there.
You can. It's pretty spectacular.
It is. It is. So, if anything, definitely come for the view, but we want you to come for the
Yes.
food and the ambiance and the service, of course.
What's going on with the food at Topside? How are you describing it these days?
So what I would say is obviously a little more, upscale casual, but fun and social. The space is very fun and social. So what we look to do is kind of, some elevated bar program, if you will, where you can come in and you can get a lot of really cool shareable small plates. Again, we want to lend to that social atmosphere. But also you can come in and just have a nice meal with your significant other, your clients, whatever. We want to be able to have everybody come there and feel comfortable that they can get everything from just a snack to a full meal.
There's a game room, kind of, yeah.
There is kind of. So in the corner we have, again, it just lends to the social atmosphere there. So we have foosball tables and board games and Jenga and
Jenga.
yeah, it's just fun. I know, but it I'm not that great either. But it sparks, and it's even worse when people have been drinking. But that's just what we want to do. Everything doesn't have to be uptight and stuffy, right? Even with the food, use good ingredients, execute it well, and have fun while you're doing it.
So is the main audience hotel guests or not necessarily?
No, so for dinner service, it's primarily public driven.
Is it? Interesting.
Yes, which is what I've found in most of my hotel experiences is that dinner service. Obviously, we capture our hotel guests. We want them to come up there because they're right there on property.
Right.
We'd be stupid not to try and capitalize on that, which is a tricky balance because you want to be progressive and on the forefront of the dining scene, right? Because we're not a hotel restaurant. We're a restaurant connected to a hotel. And, but we don't want to ostracize our hotel guests. So, you have to find that delicate balance of still being cool, being progressive, having fun, but making it approachable.
Some people are going to still want a steak.
Right. That's why I always have a burger on my menu. Right. That's one of those easy go-tos, and I think it's a pretty good damn burger. So, it's worth it. But primarily dinner is public driven.
And I can't tell you how beautiful that room is. What are some examples of some of the fun things on for instance, the appetizer menu?
Sure. So, I have my duck wings, which I've been doing for years.
Duck wings, yeah.
Yes.
That's your thing.
That's been my thing for a few years. Some other stuff that we're playing around with is, I have some lamb ribs, which is kind of have like a Mediterranean feel to it. It's got smoked raisin puree and a tamarind orange yogurt, Marcona almonds, some Mediterranean spice. So, again, it's kind of fun. Ribs are familiar, but we twist it and do lamb ribs.
That sounds really good. I don't think I've ever had lamb ribs.
Yeah, no,
I really don't think I have.
Well, now you have a reason to come by, right?
I'm telling you, really close.
As if coming to see me wasn't the best reason,
It is, Scott.
But, that's what I like to do is take some things that are familiar and have fun with it. So we also I'm getting ready to roll out a new dip. It'll be like a miso eggplant dip with some beet chips and sweet potato chips. That's something that's going to be really nice because we do have to remember, you need to cater to everybody. Your people that are vegetarian and vegan, and that's the times that we're in. You have to think about these things.
Got to. People are on all sorts of regimens.
Yeah.
Whether it's keto or Whole30, and they're going to be looking for things.
Right. Absolutely. Some things, like we do a really nice tartare. I take all my trim from my New York strip and my Wagyu flat iron. We chop that up for some tartare with a tiger sauce, Baltimore. I
love a good tartare.
You got to. Crispy shallots, cured egg yolk, house-made lavash crackers. So I think that's kind of fun, and
what pairs well with tartare, do you think?
So tartare, I mean, we're I don't want to say we're beer centric, but we do have about 50 or 60 different beers.
For real? Wow, I didn't know that.
And majority of them are local. I think we have 14 on tap. And again, we try and focus on, we have all these great breweries around us. We do. And the hotel works with Peabody Heights to where we have a proprietary beer called Thirst Day.
Nice.
Like stay at the hotel, you're thirsty, so Thirst Day.
I like it.
Yeah, stuff like that. So I think just a good beer is going to go with the tartare.
Now that you have a job that keeps you busy, do you get out much? I mean, what do you think about what's going on with Baltimore dining these days? Do you have your finger on the pulse?
I do. I think, I think some of the things that are happening are really good. It's becoming, and it's been going on for a few years now, to where we're being recognized for having a food scene. Whereas it used to be, Baltimore, Natty Boh, crab cakes, hard-shell crabs, and that was the gist of it, and crime. That's what people talked about when they talked about Baltimore.
Sure.
And then over the past few years, it's now become where, restaurants are opening left and right, and we have all this diverse ethnic cuisine. Some big-name chefs are coming into the city. But I also feel like it's not there's a bubble, and it's on the verge of bursting.
For sure.
Everybody thinks – I think food TV is great, but I also think it's jaded the industry a little bit, to where everybody thinks they can cook for a living. Everybody thinks they can own a restaurant, and it's really not that easy.
It's not easy. I don't know if people have been talking about whether Baltimore can sustain as many new restaurants as are coming open. It's a lot.
It's a lot, and I don't think we can. And I think, we see it all the time where 5 restaurants open, 5 close. And I don't desire that for anybody, but I think in a sense it's a reality check that it's not as glamorous as people think it is.
Oh my God.
Everybody wants to have, I call them midlife, career crisis, where they're like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years, but I'm going to cook for a living now. And then they get in the kitchen, they're like, wow, this sucks.
Well, because I was going to bring up some examples, but I won't.
Fair enough.
If you just got here, you're watching This Week in Baltimore Eating with me, Richard Gorelick. Like, share, comment, and follow us at #JMoreEating. That's JMoreEating. We are here with Chef Scott Hines. of the Hotel Revival, a Joie de Vivre
Joie de Vivre Hotel, yes.
in beautiful Mount Vernon, Baltimore. Speaking of crab cake,
Yes.
what's the decision about a crab cake? You got one?
I do.
Tell me about it. I want to know like where the meat's coming from and where you want the meat to come from and what you do to it.
Sure.
Just talk about it.
So, obviously, Maryland season just opened up a little bit ago.
It's too soon, right?
Yeah, and it's, prices through the roof. So right now I source my crab meat from the Gulf and the Carolinas.
Right.
It's...
So it's still domestic.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You'll never see any type of pasteurized Indonesian or Chinese crab meat in my kitchen.
Which is pretty common in Baltimore.
It's very common, and I get it all the time where people go, oh, I can get 2 8-ounce crab cakes for $25 from over here. And I'm like, yeah, you don't realize that's Chinese crab coming out of literally like their sewage water.
Well,
right?
Amanda and I talk about crab cakes all the time, and we get the list of people say this place has the best crab cake, and I'm like, I won't eat their crab cake.
No, it's people are very jaded, and I know a few years ago it was a big thing, and they were literally like investigating and going in people's kitchens because it's misleading the public. You're lying. And plus we're in the region for the best crab in the world. Like, why would you source that from somewhere else?
So you can still do what Scott's doing and source from the Gulf and the Carolinas until Maryland crab meat's
absolutely,
available.
And I feel that it's very important.
It's the same species.
It is. Now, granted, Maryland crab tastes a little different because of the waters it's coming out of. It's a little sweeter. It's a little more buttery.
It's the best.
It is. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that I think it is the best crab meat you can get. But if you're using the proper crab meat, you can charge a premium for it. Your guests are going to pay for it, minimize your filler in there. You don't have to buff it with a bunch of stuff. I use saltine cracker crumbs.
Perfect.
I literally buy the scraps from when they package them at the factory.
You can do that?
You can. I literally buy the crumbs. My base to mix is very minimal. It's mayo, dry mustard, Tabasco, Worcester, parsley, and Old Bay, and that's it.
I might have to come.
Yeah,
tonight.
please do.
It sounds great.
Please do. So I'm big on that. I feel like in this region you have to have it, and don't mess with it too much. You can deep fry it, but don't bread it and deep fry it. Like you can't mess with Baltimore and their crab cakes.
Not deep fried, but I like it pan fried.
I do. That's how I prepare mine
Okay.
in a French steel. That's how I do mine. Finish it in the oven.
You're singing my crab too.
I'm trying.
And what do you serve with it? I'm curious.
So I do confit lemon potatoes. So I take peewee potatoes, confit them in olive oil, lemon, and thyme, some whole garlic cloves, and then just some roasted asparagus, and then it's topped with a celery and avocado kind of slaw on top.
Delicious.
Light, refreshing, and again, you don't want to overtake the crab. That's the star of the plate.
And that might change up in the heat of the summer. You might.
It does. A lot of times with something like this, like my crab cake dish, I just change the set going with the seasons,
Right.
So past few years, I've done some variation of like a corn succotash with it, fried green tomato. I feel like the farm-to-table craze has been over for a few years. I think now it's expected that if you can source locally, the price is right, the quality is right, you should be doing it anyway.
I think people get that.
Yeah.
And they do, and they appreciate it.
Yeah.
And they're just not doctrinaire about it.
Right.
There's only the one restaurant in town is 100% obsessed with farm to table.
Right, which is fine. That's their deal.
What they do.
That's what they do, and they do it well.
Exactly so, and I don't begrudge them that at all.
No, not
It's
at
their
all.
Game.
Yeah, but that's not my deal. I want to get the best product I can. And if I can get it locally, that's what I'm going to do.
But you're still going to get a lemon from...
I am, yes. Yes. Until I can figure out how to grow a lemon tree out back, yes.
Let's just review a little bit about what we're talking about. We're talking about the Hotel Revival on Mount Vernon Place, which is on the site of the old, well, it had different names, the Clarion, the Peabody Court Hotel. It actually was built as an apartment building, this I know, and became converted over to a hotel in the, I'd say, early 80s.
Yes.
And was sort of not active for maybe a year or two while it was converting over to its present state, which is Hotel Revival. It's a really cute hotel. Cute might not be the right word, but it's a really nice hotel.
I accept that. It is. It's we like to say that we're the first art boutique hotel in Baltimore. Majority of contractors, painters, everything local. Most of the art in the hotel is local. And then they went through great lengths to really source, really cool kind of things that nodded to the history of the building. And everything down to like our tables and topside are made out of old duck pin bowling lanes.
I didn't know that.
They are. So
super
next
cool.
time you come in, you can look at the table and it looks like a mini bowling lane with the little dots, and you can see the slats and everything. They really went through great lengths
Neato.
to really pay attention to that. Our garden room was all done by B. Willow, which is a local, florist.
B. Willow's got great succulents. if
Oh,
you
it's
know
awesome.
that, yeah.
It's awesome. So our garden room is full of their plants and succulents. They do
Didn't
classes
know that
there.
either. That's awesome.
They do. They do classes there, I think, once a month. You come in, you learn how to plant something or pot something, and, kind of like the pub and paint thing, but this is kind of like a gardening in a beer, right?
You might get inspired by a visit. You might get inspired to do your own. Yeah, B. Willow, love it.
Absolutely.
And, so we're going to wrap it up 7 days a week, 7 nights a week at
Yes, we do. So bar opens at 4, restaurants open at 5, and then kitchen goes till 10 o'clock during the week, 11 o'clock Friday and Saturday. Bars open till midnight, and if we're busy, we're going to keep going till 2 in the morning.
Then downstairs, it's
Downstairs in Square Meal, we do breakfast from 7 to 10:30 every day of the week, and then we do lunch from 11:30 to 2 o'clock.
Look, if you have a meeting, business meeting, it's a great place to come, meet
Absolutely.
some people. I've done it. My book club's met there.
Yeah, even if you just come by and walk around and look at the cool stuff in the hotel, we welcome it.
Let's do it. Let's all meet there for a crab cake, and make sure you give your regards to Scott.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me again.
Hey, was there anything that you thought I was going to ask you that I forgot to ask, or anything special coming
No,
up?
not really. Just wanted to say thank you for coming. I'm excited to be part of this
Yeah.
food scene and food culture in Baltimore, and we're just going to keep plugging. So come on by Revival and check us out.
And do you know the website offhand?
Yeah, so you go to the Joie de Vivre Hotels, and then you just click on Hotel Revival. And
Let's
it'll
do it.
direct you right there. Or you can do joiedevivrehotels.com/revival.
Richard recommends. See you next week, everybody. Amanda's going to be back. We'll be talking about her trip to Portland, Maine. And what does she say? What's about
So
the-
apparently in Portland, Maine, just so everybody knows, you are due, I think, 5 or 6 lobster pots, almost like your birthright up there in New England.
We'll find out all about that next week. Everyone have a good, safe weekend. Enjoy the Preakness. Goodbye, everybody.